right, so content creation. So that word is like bandied about, like everybody's saying content creation, content creation. You know, it's everywhere. What exactly are people talking about when they say content creation? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You see it, you hear it, you watch it. It's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. Content creation. So what does that even mean? It's one of those things that like you hear it everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's saying content creation, content creation. What exactly does that mean? You could use your context clues to kind of, you know, figure it out. Let's talk explicitly about content creation, what exactly that is. So content, digital content, it's videos, photos, graphic designs. That's the stuff you can see. That's the stuff you watch. Things you hear like podcasts. Audio content is really powerful right now. And it's also things you read. So blog posts, news articles, those type of things. So if you can read it, see it, watch it, hear it, not really taste it or smell it yet, but I'm sure we'll get there. Anyways, if you can process information digitally, online, through social media, through web, that's content. So now that we know what content entails, let's add a layer on top of that, and let's talk about branded content. So branded content essentially is taking all of those things we just outlined, all those modalities, all those forms of communication and storytelling, and just adding a layer on top of that, which is your brand, the brand message. So you're thinking, okay, well, I make content, and you do. I take pictures of myself on Instagram, and I put Facebook posts up and all those kinds of things, and that's true, you do create content. Branded content is another level. That is a brand telling its story in a specific way. And that brings us to brand standards. So brand standards So this is one of the things that we help with, which is helping our clients establish a brand standard. Meaning like this is what our brand looks like, this is what the feel of our brand is, and more than just color schemes and fonts and layouts. Those are some of the practical deliverables in a brand standard, but more about the communication style, the voice of the company. You know, for instance, is your company super buttoned down and corporate? Or is it super wacky and irreverent and funny? Or somewhere on that scale, you know, one is super PC zipped up and one is super, like I say, irreverent and just kind of out there. Okay, so where does your brand fall on that line? It has a lot to do with what kind of brand you are and on and on. But the point is, once we set a standard for what a brand should look like, feel like, act like, then we want to maintain that standard. So we see this a lot where we help develop a brand visually, and then maybe we're hired for project work, right? So we come in, we help establish a visual identity for a brand, then we hand that to the brand, and if they don't have people in-house that can maintain that, which a lot of times they don't, which is why they hired us on a project basis. If they don't have anyone in-house that can maintain that, then the stuff they start creating thereafter, it just doesn't look as good, doesn't feel right. It's kind of like if you think about going into a Starbucks or seeing Nike or Apple or one of these big brands, they never have like a homemade looking thing. It's always, you know, to their brand standard, right? It's never the manager in the back office making a special of the day and posting that up. It's always from corporate and it always looks amazing. And we want to help brands. Obviously, we'd love to help the Nikes and Starbucks of the world. Professionally, we'd love to be at that level. But honestly, you know, there's a ton of companies out there that need the support of someone that can help them establish a high brand standard, and then through the content creation process, maintain that brand standard. That's what we're going to do. So let's talk DIY versus using the professionals. It's do-it-yourself or hired gun. When it comes to content creation, what's the best route? Okay, so let's talk just briefly. And I say let's talk briefly because at some point I want to do a whole video about this topic. But for our purposes today in content creation, how do you know which way to go? I'm a huge fan of DIY. Obviously, I'm starting this channel because I want to teach people how they can do things for themselves. I've learned most of what I know the hard way through experience and by doing it myself. And so I want to equip you guys to be able to do the same thing. But there comes a time where maybe the DIY is not the right approach. So it's no different than if you're a homeowner, you have some issue at your house, right? There's certain projects that you'll tackle. Let's jump on YouTube and let's find out if there's a video that shows me how to do what I need to do. And then there's other times where there's a major plumbing problem and I ain't touching that. I'm gonna get a good referral and then I'm gonna call the professional and I'm gonna say, come out here and handle this. This is way beyond what I can do myself. So when it comes to content creation, how do you know when to hire it out to an agency and have them do everything super polished, super fancy, and how do you know when to just go to the old iPhone and capture your own content and post it yourself? For brands, how do we manage this? Okay, so if on this side there's DIY, and over here on this side there's the pros, how do we consistently maintain that high brand standard? Well, what we're excited about at LOVE is to announce a hybrid approach that's like right here in the middle. So the way the hybrid approach works is really cool. So you capture content. Thing is, you're probably not going to be able to hire a LOVE to follow you every day of your life and create this content for your brand. But if you're capturing the content, if you're taking the photo, shooting the video clip, recording the audio, whatever that is, if you capture it, typically you open up your phone, you compose the message on social, whatever your platform is, and post it. So now, instead of posting, you send it to us, we get it up to brand standard. So we do our thing to make sure it's good to go, and then we post it for you. We are super excited to make this work for brands all over the place. We're gonna help brands create and maintain a high brand standard through using this hybrid approach of the clients capturing and us doing our thing before it goes live. So that's how we're going to help our clients maintain a high brand standard. You capture it, we'll make sure that it's up to brand standard, and then we'll post it. And we are super excited to bring that to brands everywhere. And of course, finally, the last step of content creation with LOVE is, of course, the love story. So that's where we take what we're establishing for your brand. That is the community give back program that your brand supports, is involved in, is passionate about. We lean into that storytelling because if you're selling a widget out there, you can only talk about feature set and price and service. All of those things are very important, but you can only talk about that so much. With LOVE, we're going to change the conversation from not just what you do, but why you do it. And as we identify and work with brands that are passionate about their why, it's just going to change the conversation. We're excited about that.